talking trade targets today here on Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. I am the somewhat capable host, Tyler Jones, here with you, and I got 5 players that are currently holding out from their team's activities, whether that be minicamps or OTAs. And what we're going to do on today's show is break down the possibility of who the Ravens could potentially make a trade for amid their ongoing contract disputes. We'll go over all that and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, we are trying to see what we can do when it comes to subscribers here on the channel. The most subs we've gotten on a video this month, not great, if we're going to be honest with you. 8 total on one video. Boss has said, hey, Tyler, we got to do better than that. So I want to see, can we get at least 20 subs off today's show? We're breaking down your Ravens every day with daily news and rumors. We're talking trades, free agency, minicamp, OTAs, everything you need to know and more right here on your off-season headquarters. Subscribe now for continuing Ravens coverage right here for free each and every day. Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. Let's start with CeeDee Lamb. And I'll be honest, I was not anticipating talking about CeeDee Lamb within the last couple of weeks, but as a great man once said, that escalated quickly, and it has for CeeDee Lamb in Dallas. CeeDee Lamb coming off a fantastic season in 2023 where he was arguably the best receiver in the NFL this past season when it comes to production-wise, with Justin Jefferson suffering that injury, with him being out for a period of time. CeeDee Lamb was fantastic, and he's clearly established himself as a top 3 receiver in the league at this point in time. He belongs in that conversation with Jefferson and Jamar Chase and company, and he's looking to get paid. It won't be cheap, but I can tell you this, if you can find a way to bring CeeDee Lamb to this Baltimore Ravens team, it's going to be worth it, folks. CeeDee Lamb just now starting to enter the prime years of his career for the former first-round pick out of Oklahoma, coming off 3 straight Pro Bowl appearances, including a first-team All-Pro selection last year, where he led the league in receptions. And here's the stats we're talking about here from CeeDee Lamb a season ago. 135 catches. That's a lot, folks. Over 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns. You put him alongside Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, and this offense goes to a completely different level if CeeDee Lamb is a part of the equation here. I think right now this Ravens team is comparing themselves to the Chiefs, right? Pretty close between those two teams, probably an edge towards Kansas City. You bring in CeeDee Lamb, and without question, the Baltimore Ravens would be the favorites in the AFC for the 2024 campaign. So let's ask you, should Baltimore trade for CeeDee Lamb? But I know some of you are thinking, oh, the Ravens don't have the money to do this, whatever. You can always find money. You can move things around. If they want CeeDee Lamb, if there's a trade possible, they can make it happen. Let us know what you think. T for trade, P for pass on our pinned comment today. Next up, this one, a bit of a surprise as well that he is on this list. Hassan Reddick, edge rusher for the New York Jets. Just a few months ago, we were talking about the possibility of him being traded to Baltimore. And then he ends up getting dealt to the New York Jets in what's been an odd situation. Hassan Reddick still looking to get paid. The Jets gave up a conditional 3rd-round pick to bring him in. Not a whole lot considering that they still have to pay him that amount of money. But it's been a weird situation as Hassan Reddick has not had any communication with New York Jets head coach Robert Saleh. He's not attending minicamp and OTAs, hasn't been in the building. And if you're saying to yourself, well, wait, there's not really precedent for this of bringing in a star player and moving on from him in the same offseason, you're wrong. Go back and look at the Antonio Brown situation. When he was traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Las Vegas Raiders, he never played a game for the Las Vegas Raiders as he was moved on from before that season began. A little bit different circumstance, but nonetheless, we've seen this type of thing happen before. A 2017 first-round pick out of Temple. He's played for Arizona, Carolina, and Philadelphia, was traded as recently as April 1st to the New York Jets. And he's coming off a very good year last year where he was a Pro Bowler. The year before that, second-team All-Pro. You can see the production, fantastic. 11 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 13 tackles for loss, 38 tackles. The year prior to that, 16 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 11 tackles for loss. And no team in the National Football League has a better track record when it comes to getting the most out of their pass rushers than the Baltimore Ravens do. And they don't really have an obvious replacement right now for the loss of Jadeveon Clowney. You did bring Kyle Van Noy back, but Reddick would be a significant upgrade in a marquee player for this Ravens defense if they decided to bring him in. Father's Day, just a few days away, and we got a great gift for Dad for you as we are selling Ravens Father's Day shirts on sale now at chatsports.com/RavensDad. This is a shirt that Dad can wear all year round to show that not only is he a diehard Ravens fan, but the number one dad in your life. Get this for the number one Ravens dad. Shirt sizes available in all sorts of different options for you so you can see for yourself. Might be able to find some free shipping as well. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Chatsports.com/RavensDad to get yours today. Now, let's go to a name that we have talked about a decent amount over the last several weeks, and that's Brandon Aiyuk. Let's go, Brandon. The San Francisco 49ers wide receiver still looking to get paid. We heard John Lynch, the San Francisco 49ers general manager, within the last several weeks say that he's part of their long-term plans, that they see him as a key cornerstone piece to their franchise for many years to come. But here we are, weeks later, and still no deal is in place, and it doesn't look like there's any progress towards a deal between the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk on a new contract. And eventually, the Niners are going to have to move on from either Aiyuk or Deebo Samuel. Can't pay both those guys. And the longer this goes, the more the price tag on Aiyuk is going to drop when it comes to trade capital and make this easier for a potential deal for a team like Baltimore to jump in and swoop Brandon Aiyuk in the Brandon Aiyuk sweepstakes. Aiyuk, a former first-round pick out of Arizona State, coming off the best season of his career this past year, where he was the second-team All-Pro, led the Niners in catches, yards, touchdown catches in 2023. And I think, personally, he passed up his teammate Deebo Samuel, clearly became the best receiver on this San Francisco 49ers roster in 2023. You can see the numbers for yourself. Had an impressive average of 17.9 yards per reception, 7 touchdowns, over 1,300 yards off of 75 catches. The year prior was really good as well, 78 catches for over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. So Brandon Aiyuk starting to enter his prime, coming into his own right now. If you had to pick between one of these two receivers, which one would you rather roll with? Would you rather go with CeeDee Lamb, or would you rather go with Brandon Aiyuk? Type CD for CeeDee Lamb. Type Aiyuk for Brandon Aiyuk. Let us know in the comments section below. Next up is Courtland Sutton, and Courtland Sutton has been on the radar for the Baltimore Ravens for a number of months as the Denver Broncos are rebuilding, starting over with a new quarterback coming in Bo Nix, already moved on from Jerry Jeudy, and they still have a ton of money that is owed in dead cap to Russell Wilson. So this could be an opportunity for them to unload Courtland Sutton, and for the Baltimore Ravens, this might be your best bargain situation of the guys we're talking about here, because he's going to cost the least when it comes to money, and he's going to cost the least when it comes to draft capital that you have to give up, and it's going to help you bigly when it comes to this receiving core. You're talking about putting him as your number 2 receiver next to Rashad Bateman, and actually being a significant upgrade from the loss you had of losing Odell Beckham Jr. in free agency this past season. Courtland Sutton been very consistent in his career. 5 career seasons with at least 700 yards receiving. His best year, you go back to 2019 when he was a Pro Bowler in the second year of his career. But you look at these statistics. Here's one thing I would keep in mind, too. Courtland Sutton has not had consistent quarterback play in his time in Denver. From playing with Russell Wilson to Jared Stidham to a number of guys there, this would be the first time in his NFL career, if he were to go to Baltimore, that he'd get to play alongside an elite quarterback in Lamar Jackson. I would expect Courtland Sutton to thrive in the Ravens offense. Last one on our list. This one might come as a bit of a surprise. It is Tristan Wirfs, the offensive tackle from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it might be a little bit of a reach, but hear me out on this. We all know that Ronnie Stanley is not going to be in Baltimore much longer, right? And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if they don't get a deal done with Wirfs here, then maybe there could be a situation where you give up Stanley and you bring in Wirfs, and then all of a sudden you have your starting left tackle for many years to come. You lock down that position that way and move on from a player that you're going to move on from anyway. You look at the resume from Wirfs, a first-round pick in 2020, still very young. He's been a 3-time Pro Bowler, 3 straight from 2021 to 2023, including a first-team All-Pro selection back in 2021, and was a huge part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl a couple of years ago. The numbers from PFF, outstanding. An overall grade of an 81.1, a run block grade of 72.2, a pass block grade of 84.3. Really does everything well. He did allow 5 sacks this past season in over 1,000 snaps played. So let's ask you, now that we've gone through the list of potential trade targets for the Baltimore Ravens, of players that are holding out right now, who should the Ravens make a move for? We've gone through a few. There's others out there. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think. Thanks for joining us here on Ravens Rundown. Subscribe now for the best Ravens coverage you won't find anywhere else. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time.